Shh.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Scream Sanctuary. I'm your host, Silent. As always, we have a guest.
And it's the same one that's been here the past couple of times.
Yes,
Hello, I am your boy, Phantom.
it's your fucking coaster, I thought.
I'm a coaster. I am a coaster that you set drinks on, not a roller coaster to be confused. I am not about thrills. I am about setting wet objects onto. Take that as you will.
Oh my god. Alright, so we are going to be answering some of your Twitter questions.
Soda, alcohol, really, you could put anything on me. Right. Sorry, you were
Fuck.
saying? Twitter
Okay.
questions, right?
Yeah, so we are going to be answering some Twitter questions that you guys gave me back in December, from what I'm seeing. So, like the last one, Phantom's gonna read the questions. I am gonna give an opinion. We're gonna talk about it, all that fancy stuff.
All right. Can I just say before we start this, my foot is so itchy that I could
tell.
literally cut my toes off and I would be fine with it.
I mean, it fits the theme. This is a horror channel. After all, I can't.
You guys want to hear that, you sick fucks? So, first question will be from Lorenzo P. Adams. Also goes by Real LP Adams on Twitter. What will it take to bring back the good old slasher subgenre? How do you make it fresh again?
All right.
And
so,
then he also wrote another comment, but we're not going to read that because
yeah.
it's not
So
relevant to the question.
um,
Thank you for your submission.
so this is actually funny, and I thought this was fitting, which is why this is gonna be the first question since my Terrifier review went up a couple weeks ago. So when it comes to the slasher genre, which is like one of my favorite genres in the horror genre, subgenre I should say, is the slasher genre. So, yeah, it's probably one of my favorite genres, but I feel like it has been a very, very long time since we've seen anything good out of it. Which is why I was so excited about Terrifier, because I feel like it's a movie that has kind of brought back some life to a genre that has been dead. I kind of made this comment in my Terrifier video too, where like the last time we really got some really good slashers were back in like the 80s when Jason first came out, and of course Halloween and Freddy and Michael Myers and all those slashers kind of came out around the same time period. But since then, it's kind of felt like they're the only like recognizable faces, and besides that, there hasn't really come anybody that's been able to do the subgenre justice, except for David Howard and his portrayal of art. So that's kind of where my opinion lies with it. I hope that we can get something original, but as far as it being done well, it's kind of iffy.
I think that the closest we're going to have to a slasher is art.
Yeah.
And I say that because as somebody, you are the slasher queen. You love slashers.
Mm-hmm.
Even you have to admit the slasher subgenre is dead.
Yeah.
As far as mostly. It's about 98% dead, I'd say.
And it's sad to say that. I mean, it really is.
Because a lot of people, the problem with slasher films is you have to throw things at a wall and see if they stick.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, if it's played by Kane Hodder, it'll stick.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, they got the guy from Hatchet.
Yeah.
You got the Cannibals from the Hills Have Eyes, which really aren't that recognizable. I mean,
But they're also slasher, but they don't need to be considered
slasher.
slasher.
Yeah. The cannibals also, or the mutants, or whatever you call them, from Wrong Turn, since they were able to get so many movies out of them. There's 6 of them, I think, now.
Yeah.
If you can even say that that's recognizable. I mean, I recognize them because they're traumatizing to me, but
Yeah.
no, when we were watching Terrifier again, I mean, Art the Clown is really he does something that all slashers have to go through, in my opinion. Your slasher needs to have charisma.
Yeah.
Your slasher needs to be put in moments that are funny.
Well, and that's the thing that even I think back on, and I talk about Jason Voorhees a lot because he's my favorite.
Right. Good old Kane.
What made those movies so great, even though they're cheesy as hell?
Is that they're cheesy as hell?
Yeah. Because especially once you get to like the third movie when Kane starts, playing Jason,
Oh yeah, by his point,
there's scenes in that movie that are just downright fucking funny.
yeah.
I mean, they're laughable, but like he makes that character that way.
All right.
You know.
I think it's important because what do you think of when you think of Freddy?
I mean, pedophile. But...
Well, okay, what do you think of when you actually think of Freddy? Like the movies, what situations does he put himself in?
They're funny situations.
Yeah, they're always funny. The most recognizable kill if I ask somebody about Friday the 13th is the one with the comic book kid.
Yeah.
Where he gets cut in half like pieces of paper.
Yeah. Well, that and the sleeping bag kill from Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
funny.
which is so funny.
Yeah.
Because it's just out over the top and ridiculous.
Well, no, and I mean even playing the game Friday the 13th, like that gameplay that I have up on my gaming channel, I'm literally cracking jokes the whole entire time.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Because like I'm like, okay, why does Jason have a spear? Are we going fucking fishing now? Like
link in the description below.
Yeah.
All right.
But like, not only that, I think one of the only like slashers that I can really take seriously is maybe Michael Myers. But even then, that's debatable.
That's a tone, though. No,
Yeah.
I mean Rob Zombie's rendition of Halloween was super serious.
It's a serious.
Although I laughed at it.
Yeah.
But
I think it's hard not to laugh. It's like some
Michael
of the
Myers,
more like
Jason,
gory movies. Because even House of Thousand Corpses, shout out to my fucking PJs. Even like House of Thousand Corpses, like it's supposed to be serious, but like some of the shit, I'm just like, okay, like why?
Well, we both know that we're both split on that movie.
Yeah.
So, but you lose charisma with stoic, like Superman slashers.
Mm-hmm.
You get charisma from the situations that you put them in.
Right.
You get charisma from the people, even, or you can make that. Those are the way you do it. You put a stoic character in a funny situation, i.e., Jason Takes Manhattan, where he literally knocks a dude's head off with one punch.
Yeah.
That made me laugh so hard. Or you pull the other card out, which I would call the Freddy card, because if I had to say it, it would be the Jason card or the Freddy card. You get a stoic guy in funny situations, or you get a funny guy in serious situations. Mm-hmm. You can't do one or the other. That's how you reinvigorate. But so many people try to do stoic Supermen that are so serious.
Yeah.
No funny situation.
Yeah.
Funny kills are memorable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the more gruesome ones except for, again, mentioning Wrong Turn. Yeah. And I don't want to go into that one.
But no, and that's the thing, even going back to Art and Terrifier, like, there's that one scene, and I'm not going to describe in grave detail, but a girl gets basically sawn in half.
That's a pretty good detail.
I'm not going to say any more than that. But even that, like, is so, like, out there, and, like, even Art is, like, laughing hysterically the whole entire time, which is super messed up. But, like, it's still funny in its own regard.
Everything preceding the murder is what makes Art funny.
Yeah.
And I know this sounds like we're just reviewing Terrifier together. We're not, but he's the most recent one I can think of.
Yeah.
I can't think of another one that's...
No. And I mean, even the scene, like, in the beginning of the movie in the pizza shop.
That's what I'm saying. Everything
like,
preceding
oh my god, I died laughing. I think I paused and rewound that part, like, 3 times.
When he's just making
faces.
faces.
So I can laugh all over again. And all he's doing is making faces.
So... I mean, the best way you could describe it then, it would probably be you gotta, like I said, you put a serious guy in funny situations, or you put, or I'm sorry, a stoic guy in serious situations, or you put a funny guy in serious situations.
Well, and basically I think the key is, like, when it comes to slashers, you can't try so hard to make it serious, or else it's gonna fail. Because I think a lot of horror movies that take the gore route, while a lot of them are meant to be serious, like the Saw series, for example. Super gory. It's not a slasher, but it's gory.
That works.
But it works.
Because of the context of Jigsaw's character.
But when it comes to, like, slasher-built movies, it's hard to do serious.
You can't, because nobody does that. Nobody goes
'cause
around
even
and
with-
butchers people like that.
For example, Black Christmas, when we watched it, there were times around, like, especially like the original.
The icicle kill.
I'm like, well, that was more the second movie.
That was so
But
cringy.
like that movie, like the whole time from the very beginning of like the original, I was like, okay, like this guy is a weirdo. But then later on, I'm like, this guy's a weirdo, but it's still funny.
Yeah. Because he doesn't know how to interact with people.
Yeah. So.
Serious guy in funny situation.
Yeah.
That and yeah. So like I said too, that's the best way I can describe it. The answer to that question is stoic guy in funny situations or funny guy in serious ones.
Yeah.
Opinion of Ted Bundy or Zac Efron cast as Ted Bundy.
Oh yeah, that was
Jordan.
Introvert. Yeah.
Yep, the introvert one, of course. Shout out to you, Jordan.
Yeah, so the whole Ted Bundy thing, we actually just watched the Ted Bundy tapes on Netflix, which was really good.
Yeah, go watch it. I mean, I learned a lot more about Ted Bundy than I ever wanted to, that's for sure.
Yeah. So even though this isn't like a true crime series, which is why I wasn't originally trying to talk about this, but I guess it is something to bring up. It's very surprising that they would cast Zac Efron out of all people, because I'm still going back to like Troy Bolton and like High School Musical.
He's dancing with all the dead bodies and singing, "We're all in this together."
That should be a blooper.
That should be. That would be great.
A blooper in the movie. That would be great.
And then Corbin Blue just shows up, and he's dribbling a head as a basketball, and he's like, "Get your head in the game." No, that would be really bad.
But yeah, that's another one I'm really excited for. And I know that a lot of people are saying that the title is super cheesy.
What was it?
It's a quote that the judge says.
Hold on, I'll look it up.
Yeah.
What? Well, I mean, the Ted Bundy movie with Zac Efron. I mean, we've seen it done before, where it's gonna take a character that, a person, and that's completely subverted. Like, yeah. What is it? There's one guy, I can't remember his name, where everybody was like, no, this is not him, and he does it so well. Well, first off, John Wick, I guess, would be a good example. Keanu Reeves kind of did more in the John Wick movie than anything else. I think it's called Extremely Wicked. It looks good, and a lot of people are talking.
Yeah, Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile. It's actually a quote that is said. No, and they show this, I believe, in the last episode of the Ted Bundy tapes.
Yeah.
It's actually a quote taken from the judge before he's sentenced.
And also, I mean, compare that to the movie from 2002 called Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Which got a 37 on Metacritic and a 41% on Rotten Tomatoes. With a guy named Michael Riley Burke as the lead. I don't even know who that is.
No. And I think the fact that Zac Efron is such a recognizable name because of when he was on Disney Channel and all the movies he's been in since then. Like, right. I think that's enough reason why people are going to go see it, because they probably want to see what he can do with the character. Not only that, he looks a lot like Ted in the movie. The way they have his makeup done in the movie. He's
charismatic.
Like, he looks like a spitting image of Ted Bundy.
Okay, and also, can I just make a point? I've been seeing this a lot on Facebook. People are saying, oh, you're romanticizing Ted Bundy. Fuck off, okay? The point of him being romanticized is because he is charismatic.
Yeah.
That is why people liked him then.
Yeah.
What was it? Even the judge at the end of the case, which, again, reference to the Ted Bundy tapes, which was good because they showed a lot of the
I like
stuff.
Seeing the original footage.
Yeah. Where even the judge who sentenced him for the murders was like, if you had gone a different path, I would have loved to have you in my courtroom.
Yeah.
Because he even if he was wrong, he could make you believe it was the truth. He flat out would spin yarn into gold. It was crazy. If he had not been a serial killer, he could have done a lot in life.
Yeah.
And I mean, but it was just never enough anyway.
Yeah.
So Zac Efron is a good choice. I don't see why everybody's weird about it. I mean, as long as he brings what the role is demanding, I don't care.
Well, and that's the thing, and that was the point that I think I made in my comment about it, is it's really unexpected to have him in that kind of role.
Right.
because of the movies that he's done, night and day, to see him in a role like this compared to all the movies that he's done.
Yeah.
So it's really weird, but like he would be a really good person to have him play this.
Right. I mean,
Because I think it gives him reason to show people that like he can do something different other than playing the roles that he's played.
yeah.
Which has kind of been like the boy next door, like everybody's got the hots for him, you know, in
Right.
pretty much every. Because from what I know, besides High School Musical, he's done a lot of like comedy, like romantic type movies.
Mm-hmm.
So like to see him in something like this, I think would give people more reason to like, you know, to kind of think of him as kind of in a different light, I guess.
Right.
So.
I'm excited for the Ted Bundy movie. I think it looked really good, and to everybody that's complaining about that being an issue, just wait until it comes out.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling Zac Efron's gonna do well enough.
Yeah, and I hope he blows it out of the water. I'm
think he
really
will.
interested to see how it goes for him.
I really do think that he will. Okay. It says, all right. So Poe Movies wrote about what do you think about Poe's influence on the horror genre?
His birthday was back in January, so we're late.
Very late. Sorry, Poe Movies. But we haven't checked. I want to clarify. We haven't checked out your films yet. We are going to. But Poe in the influence of horror. I love Edgar Allan Poe.
Mm-hmm.
Love him. It inspired one of my favorite shows called The Following. I only watched the first season, and I count that as the one that everybody should watch.
Yeah.
I don't care about the second season. It left off on a cliffhanger, which is why they need a second season, and Kevin Bacon was really good in it. But Edgar Allan Poe and horror movies, you can't ignore it.
Yeah.
A lot of his stuff is in horror movies.
Well, in my number one example is The Crow.
Of course.
And I don't think I have to say how exactly it relates. Obviously, The Raven is like a huge influence for the whole character.
Right. I mean, there's birds.
And the movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's called The Crow.
But there is actually a scene in the movie where he breaks into the pawn shop. He flies them through the window, I believe.
Yeah.
And before he kills the guy, he actually quotes the Raven.
Yeah.
Right before he sets the whole place on fire, pretty much.
Right.
That's my number one reference that I think of when I think of like how Poe has influenced other movies. Because obviously that's like stares you in the face. The whole thing is a comparison to the Raven.
Yeah.
So
which is his most known story. I mean, if you look, that's the reason why I bring up The Following, because if you do, you get to see a little bit more of his work shown in the show. And I know you said you briefly watched it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched all the episodes, but it was good. It was very good. I mean, they talk about a bunch of stuff. And Edgar Allan Poe's works, as far as horror goes, they're written in such a way that you really probably think he is Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
The way he murders people and stuff like that. I mean, have you read The Cask of Amontillado?
No.
Oh, it's so messed up.
The only ones that I've actually read is The Raven and
Telltale Heart.
That's in
Telltale Heart is a really good one.
Floorboards or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
The hearts and the floorboards, and he admits it to the police. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cask of Amontillado is probably my favorite, or
Yeah.
The Mask of the Red Death is pretty good too. But Pit and Pendulum is also.
Yeah, I've
Yep.
read that one too. I read that one in high school.
Cask of Amontillado is probably my favorite, and I can give you like a brief synopsis of it. It's about two guys, one who's jealous of the other. I don't remember the exact reason. He makes the guy get drunk, the main character. He makes the victim, quote unquote, get drunk, but he talks about him he talks him down in a way about why he hates him. And you can clearly see he has disdain for him, but not to the level that he shows.
Right.
And then he traps the guy. I think he puts him in shackles. I don't remember. Or he just kind of lures him into a back room, and then he literally bricks up the wall behind him and leaves him in there to die. Yeah, it's a messed up scene in the book. It's a good book though. I mean, a good story. Um, but if you have not read Cask of Amontillado, you really should,
Yeah.
because it's good. And Edgar Allan Poe's stuff is just good. I mean, dude lived misery and horror.
Yeah.
So, sorry, we're kind of going rapid fire here. We got a lot of questions
Yeah.
for this Q&A. We have horror movies and stuff on Twitter. And the Twitter handle is at Mr. Horror. How about the topic being horror movies with best deleted scenes? Okay. I never really enjoyed.
I get comfy.
Yeah, I never enjoyed. House of a Thousand Corpses, or what was it? No, I think it was Devil's Rejects specifically. I enjoyed the behind the scenes for Devil's Rejects.
Yeah.
Watching it with you, it was interesting to see how they filmed.
Yeah, so they're behind the scenes that they do. I know it's not technically like, it's more so behind the scenes rather than like deleted. Because when I think of like deleted scenes, I'm thinking of like different cuts of the movie that they put out. Like certain scenes were taken out for certain reasons.
Right.
But speaking of the Devil's Rejects, I don't know if they kept it in the censored version, but there is the notorious scene with Otis Driftwood, played by Bill Moseley. I'm not gonna go into too much, but it involves a gun and a girl in her panties. And that's as much I can say about it.
Well, before you do your actual review on it and use the footage in question.
I'm not going to use the footage because it's...
Of him talking about it?
No, of him talking
That's
about
what I'm
it.
saying. Not the other...
I'm not going to use the actual footage from the movie.
Because it's messed up.
But he mentioned it when we went to Days of the Dead, and we seen his panel. But he also mentions it in the behind the scenes DVD.
Yeah.
That scene alone, like when they did that scene that day, it literally bummed everybody out. And they had to do that scene upwards of like 30 different takes because they had to get different kind of angles for it and whatnot.
Right.
But the girl who played that scene with him thought of it to be like her most powerful and meaningful scene in her whole entire of her being, her doing movies pretty much.
Right.
Another scene that I think of a lot in terms of horror, it depends on, I guess who you talk to. If Butterfly Effect is a horror movie or not. I know some people consider it, some people don't.
Horrible things happen, but I don't consider it a horror movie. I consider it a thriller.
Some people do consider it a type of horror. I'm kind of up in the air about it. I consider it more so a thriller. But when I think of deleted scenes that really fucked me up, it's the very ending of the movie. I know they switch it out depending.
The alternate ending.
But spoiler for those of you who haven't seen the Butterfly Effect. Basically, the whole movie is about if one thing happens. Basically, if you do one thing in your life, it can change the whole kind of outlook on what happens later on. And the very ending is Ashton Kutcher's character basically kills himself in the womb, so nothing that you just watched in the movie ever happens. And they switched that out for something totally different, I remember, in the censored version. I can't remember what the censored version was.
Censored version is he makes it so he's involved in nobody's life.
Yeah.
And he finds the girl he's in love with, and they don't recognize each other, and they walk past each other. They live completely separate lives.
But I remember when we watched this movie together, because I seen it as a kid.
Was the extended cut ending.
Yeah. And I remember that had like a huge impact on you.
Yeah, because it was profound.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. That movie guy's underrated.
And I remember, like, when we watched that movie, like, usually we're joking around and, like, laughing about movies the whole entire time. I think we sat in silence for those almost
5
2
minutes.
hours. We didn't talk the whole entire movie.
Oh no! After the movie,
Yeah.
5 minutes. We sat in silence and then we talked about the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I cried.
We both cried.
We're not gonna tell you what it is. Go seek it if
Yeah.
you really want to know. But you need to watch the movie to understand why it is the way it is, because
Yeah.
it does reference the movie
Mhm.
in the beginning, which is good.
Yeah.
It should do that.
Um,
And it ties up a lot of weird things in the movie too. So
I'm trying to think of any other like deleted scenes that stand out to me.
if I know mine,
What?
all the Saw movies.
Yeah.
The behind the scenes of all the Saw movies are
Well, that's
awesome.
behind the scenes. That's not deleted.
Deleted scenes from the Saw movies
Yeah.
are great too. I mean, they got some they got some great deleted scenes from those movies. I mean, behind the scenes as far as because behind the scenes and deleted scenes go with hand in hand.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm thinking of like deleted scenes in terms of stuff that was taken out.
I can't think of many other ones
No.
off the top of my head. As far as behind the scenes though, Saw movies.
Yeah.
Because that's the reason I even got through any of them.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, I watched all the behind the scenes for the Saw movies before I watched the actual movies when I was a kid. So, because I liked concepts.
Mm-hmm.
But, sorry, I mean, we can't really go much more into
Yeah.
that.
I can't think of any, like, right off the top of my head. I'm sure if I look some stuff up, I can think about some favorites, but...
Yeah, and I don't watch that many horror movies to remember any deleted scenes.
Yeah.
So, that's more you. Alright, Women in Horror Month.
Alright,
I can go with the chick Chameleon right off the bat.
I can go with Jennifer Tilly from the
Candyman.
Chucky movies.
Oh, no, you can't. Oh.
Or Virginia from
Candyman.
From Candyman, played Helen.
Yeah.
I might be going to Flashback Weekend this summer, so I might get to meet her.
Might be. You're looking at me giddy with opened eyes, like wide-eyed, because she's already met Tony Todd and has his autograph, which is still pretty cool. But
yeah. So yeah, Jennifer Tilly from the Chucky movies. She plays Bride Chucky. Tiffany. That's
Tiffany.
Who she plays.
Oh. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah. She's in the movie as herself, but then she's also the voice of
Tiffany. That's weird.
Yeah. So like she's in the movie The Bride of Chucky as herself, but then she also plays the voice for Tiffany. So it's weird. She's a favorite. Helen is a favorite.
Mila.
Who else? Mila Jokovich from all the Resident Evils.
And Underworld.
Yeah, that's
Isn't she?
somebody else.
Who's in? Isn't it her?
No, it's not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not.
I thought it was her.
I do like the other chick from the first Resident Evil movie. Rodriguez is her last name. I can't think of her first name.
Well, but she's not in a lot of horror movies.
No,
I would say no, but Mila is. I would say as far as the Resident Evil script takes her, she plays the
Kate
character well.
Beckinsale plays the girl from the Underworld.
Are you? Oh, okay. They look very similar.
Yeah, they do. Who else?
Women in horror. The girl who plays Amanda in Saw.
Oh yeah,
like
she's
her.
like my favorite.
I like
all
her.
the characters.
Cause she goes through a little thing there in the first 3 Saw movies, and then winds up becoming the actual. She is John at that point at the end of 3, which is the most messed up one of the movies in my opinion. Is 3. Except the last one. But that's just me. What's her name? The girl who plays Ripley. In I think her name is Ripley. In Alien. I don't remember her name off the top of my head, and I am so sorry. Alien movie.
I guess we can also speak on Uma Thurman since, Pulp Fiction is kind of in that weird limbo of like horror, thriller, suspense type movies. Because even though the movie is gory for a few parts, I don't think a lot of people consider Tarantino movies horror.
I mean, they're pretty. Some of them are pretty horrible.
But I will throw Uma in there because she's my favorite. Also,
I'm just kidding though. I mean, but that's a Tarantino film anyway. So, what's Officer Ripley? Yeah. Okay. So Sigourney Weaver. She's in Alien.
Yeah.
Her. That's what I meant. Sorry.
Also, the chick from Planet Terror.
I don't know
The
her
girl that's
name either.
got the
Machine Gun Leg?
yeah.
I don't know her name.
I think Cherry. Yeah, Cherry. So Rose McGowan.
A big a big one for me at least would probably be she's recognizable to me, so I'd say Jodelle Ferland. She's the girl who plays Alessa Gillespie in the Silent Hill movie.
Mm-hmm.
She's the face of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
her face is on the movie.
literally every poster has her mouth missing on it.
Yeah.
Her and Rhoda Mitchell.
Also, I like
Both of them.
Alice. She played
Because she was also in The Crazies.
Christabella, or whatever her face is.
Alice Krieg.
Yeah, Alice Creed.
Yeah, and she was also in the OA.
Yeah.
Which
blew my mind when I seen that.
Well,
when we watched the OA.
yeah. And I don't know if the OA is...
Britt Marling, too, who plays OA. If we can throw them in there.
I would say, I would consider the OA, which is a Netflix show, by the way. Go see it. There's going to be season 2.
Yeah, it's more sci-fi than anything.
I would say it's pretty damn horrible.
Yeah.
What happens in that movie? Yeah, I'd say it's pretty horror towards the end. But, yeah, I would say, so Rhoda Mitchell, Jodelle Ferland, Alice Krieg. Pretty much a lot of people from Silent Hill. But a lot of people I recognize. I would say that pioneered the industry, I had some names written down, actually. I feel like
Mila is a good one to mention, because even though the Resident Evil series isn't original in itself,
right?
I feel like she made the face of, like, a genre. Because, I mean, Resident Evil, even though it's loosely based off the video games, I feel like Resident Evil, the movies themselves, is what kicked off, like, zombie movies.
Well, I could think of another one, too. Janet Leigh.
Who?
She's the girl from... or it's either Lee or Leigh. She's the girl who gets stabbed in the shower in Psycho.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even think about that. And I know you don't want to say it. You have to, though. Linda Blair.
Yeah.
You don't want to say Linda Blair because we've got a personal thing against her, but I mean that's just more of a comic or what is it? Not a Comic-Con, like a convention reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure she's fine outside of conventions. I mean,
yeah.
She can't be all too bad if she has a foundation to help animals.
Yeah.
She's just doing it the wrong way. I'm gonna move on before Cass kills somebody. What's her name? The girl who played Carrie. Sissy Spacek?
What, in the original Carrie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Her.
Yeah.
She's pioneer. She's famous in those roles. And of course, you can't forget Jamie Lee Curtis.
I was just about to say that. Yeah. For most of you guys obviously watching this channel have probably seen the original Halloweens, but I feel like Jamie Lee specifically from the Halloween movies. And more recently, obviously, the newest Halloween, which is really cool that they brought her back in her original character. But yeah, she's just a face.
Another one, probably Shelley Duvall
Mm-hmm.
from The Shining.
Yeah.
Another one who you should recognize, but you probably don't, Betsy Palmer. She's Pamela Voorhees.
That's what I thought. I was just about to say Pamela.
And then, I mean, there's a lot of women in horror that you can... I mean, there, of course, Ashley Lawrence from Hellraiser 2. We saw her at the convention at Days of the Dead.
Barbie.
She looked really nice.
Yeah, Barbie Wilder.
She looked like a really nice person. The way that she was talking.
Yeah.
She was very nice.
But Barbie Wilder plays the female Cenobite.
Chucky's mom. Or not Chucky's mom. The mom from Chucky. Catherine Hicks.
Mm.
She could also be considered as one, I'd say.
Yeah.
Kathy Bates from Misery. Fuck
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
She's recognizable.
That's a good one.
That's just... I'm just going down a list here of stuff that I had.
I believe Jodie Foster from Silence of the Lambs as well.
Oh, of course.
Clarice.
What, I mean...
We can be here forever.
Rob Zombie's wife. Sherry Moon.
Sherry Moon.
She's also in a lot of movies.
one of
All
my
right,
favorite actresses.
we are gonna move on before we just keep going down a list that I wrote down. I literally wrote down a list about it. But yes, there are a lot of women that are in horror. I know one of them passed away. The one from The Creature of the Black Lagoon. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I'm sorry. She passed away as well. Rest in peace.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Is that gonna stay
I
in?
forgot the fucking intro to my own podcast. All right, try that again.
You do you, fam. I'm just here.
Fuck. Okay.
I'm a